Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Udan Career Institute once again. Today we'll be continuing with Chapter 1, Class 12 Biology, that is Reproduction in Organisms. Now, dear friends, in the last class we have started with sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, we have gone with a definition of sexual reproduction and the difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Also, we have gone with three different phases in the life cycle of an organism, that is a juvenile phase, juvenile phase and vegetative phase in case of animals and plants, a reproductive phase and senescent phase. We have also gone with a type of plants depending upon their life cycle, that is annuals, biennials and perennial plants. Today we'll move forward towards the another topic, that is sexuality in plants. In some plants and fungi, you can see that male and female reproductive structures, they are present on the same plant. So same plant have male and female reproductive structures together. Such plants which have male and female reproductive structures, they are known as homothallic or monoecious. Example: chara, cucurbita, coconut palm. While there are some lower plants in which male and female reproductive structures, they are present on different plants. So male reproductive structure will be present in one plant and female reproductive structure will be present in another plant. Such plants are known as heterothallic or dioecious plant. So if you compare so going through the difference between homothallic and heterothallic plants, homothallic are all those plants in which male and female reproductive structures are present in the same plant. Whereas heterothallic plants are those plants in which male and female reproductive structures are present on two different individual plants. So chara, cucurbita and coconut palm are examples of homothallic plants, whereas marchantia and date palm, they are the examples of heterothallic or dioecious plants. In angiosperms, flower is the reproductive part of the plant. So flower is basically the reproductive part. In some angiosperms like mustard, China rose, pea, flower contains both stamen and pistil. Now, as you know that stamen is the male reproductive organ and pistil is the female reproductive organ, or we can say androecium and gynoecium. Stamen is the androecium and pistil can be considered as gynoecium. Then both stamen and pistil are present in the same plant, in the same flower. Such flowers are known as bisexual flower. So same flower contains both stamen and pistil. In some angiosperms like papaya, watermelon, sunflower, rice, wheat, the flowers contain either stamen or pistil. Such flowers, they are known as unisexual flowers. So unisexual flowers may be containing either stamen or pistil. So unisexual flowers with stamen, they are known as male flowers or staminate flowers, whereas unisexual flower with pistil, they are known as female flowers or pistillate flowers. So this is how we can classify sexuality in case of plants. That is, either the plant is homothallic or heterothallic, or a flower is bisexual flower or a unisexual flower. Here are few examples of monoecious plant, dioecious plant and a bisexual flower. So the first example is monoecious plant, that is chara, where you can see there is presence of oogonium as well as antheridium on the same plant. That is, same plant contains female sex organ oogonium and male sex organ, that is antheridium. The another example is of dioecious plant, that is marchantia, in which male and female sex organs are present in different plants, that is female thallus containing archegoniophore and male thallus it contains entheridiophore. So both archegoniophore and entheridiophore are present in two different plants, which is opposite as compared to the chara plant where oogonium and entheridium are present on the same plant. Here there is one more example of a bisexual flower where we can see presence of both stamen and carpel, that is androecium and gynoecium are present in the same flower. Moving towards sexuality in animals. Now similar to plants, sexuality of animals can also be classified into different types. So on the basis of sexuality, animals are also divided into two types: bisexual animal and unisexual animal. Bisexual animals, they are also known as hermaphrodite, where both male and female reproductive organs are present in the same individual. Example is earthworm, tapeworm, leech, sponges. Whereas unisexual unisexual animals are those animals in which both the sexes are different with different male and female individuals. So both male and female individuals, their sexes will be different. Example, there is a male cockroach and female cockroach, as well as in case of dogs also both the sexes are different. So here there is an example of a bisexual animal, that is earthworm, where you can see presence of ovary as well as presence of testes in the same organism. Ovary is the female reproductive organ and testis is male reproductive organ. Both reproductive organs are present on the same animal or in the same animal. Here there is an example of a unisexual animal, that is male cockroach and female cockroach, where male cockroach has testis as male reproductive organ and female cockroach it has ovary, paired ovaries are present, which is considered as female reproductive organ. Now moving towards the next part, that is sexual reproduction in animals. Now as we have gone earlier that animals, they follow only one mode of reproduction, that is sexual mode of reproduction. There are some animals which are reproductively active throughout the reproductive phase. Now as we have gone earlier that there are three different phases in the life cycle. The first one is vegetative phase or juvenile phase. The second phase is the reproductive phase and the third phase is the senescent phase. So if you consider the reproductive phase of an animal, few animals are reproductively active during that entire reproductive phase. Such animals are known as continuous breeders. Example is humans. Whereas on the other hand, there are some animals which are reproductively active only during favorable seasons during the reproductive phase. So during a particular season they will be active, after that they once again become inactive. So these kind of animals, they are known as seasonal breeders. Examples: dogs, birds, frogs, lizards. In animals, juvenile phase is followed by morphological and physiological changes that occurs before reproductive phase. So if you see animals, once the juvenile phase is completed and before the reproductive phase starts, there are morphological changes and some internal physiological changes it takes place within the body of an organism or an animal. During the reproductive phase in placental mammals, means all those animals who have placenta, the activities of ovaries and accessory ducts and hormones will show some cyclical changes. So there will be some changes which will be physiological, that is internal physiology of an organism will change in such a way that the activity of ovaries will change, There will be accessory ducts whose activity will also change, and the hormonal release patterns will also change. It shows some cyclical changes. In case of non-primates, these cyclical changes, it is known as oestrus cycle, example cow, sheep, dog, tiger. Whereas in case of primates, these cyclical changes, it is known as menstrual cycle, example monkey, apes and humans. Friends, we will study menstrual cycle in more detail in chapter number 3. For time being purpose, we will try to differentiate oestrus cycle and menstrual cycle. Now, if we want to find out the differences between menstrual cycle and oestrus cycle, which is taking place in two different kind of animals, we can quote down some points as given here. In menstrual cycle, it is taking place in primates, that is monkeys, apes and human beings only. Oestrus cycle, it occurs in case of non-primates such as cow, dogs, etc. So this is the first difference. The second difference is this cycle, that is menstrual cycle, it consists of three different phases. The first one is menstrual phase, during which there will be loss of blood, followed by proliferative phase, during which there will be proliferation of the endometrium, and the last phase is the secretory phase, where majority of the substances, hormones, they are being secreted. It consists, whereas on the other case of oestrus cycle, it consists of a short period of oestrus phase or heat phase, which will last near about 12 to 24 hours in case of cow, and that will be followed by an estrus phase or passive period. So basically, the heat phase is known as oestrus phase, and during that oestrus phase, the organism will be reproductively active. After that period, it will become reproductively inactive, which is considered as passive period or anoestrus phase. Now, in case of menstrual cycle, blood flow in the last few days of the cycle, whereas in case of oestrus cycle, blood will not flow in this cycle. So this is considered as one major difference between menstrual cycle and oestrus cycle. Blood flows in menstrual cycle, whereas blood does not flow in oestrus cycle. In menstrual phase, broken endometrium is passed out of the body, whereas in case of oestrus cycle, broken endometrium is reabsorbed. The sex urge is not increased during the menstrual phase or during menstruation, whereas here in oestrus cycle, sex urge is increased during oestrus period. Females do not permit copulation during menstrual phase in menstrual cycle, whereas females, they permit copulation during oestrus period. So friends, these are few differences between menstrual cycle and oestrus cycle. From the next class onwards, we will continue with events occurring in sexual reproduction. Thank you very much.